Hello, friends. So, today we shall be talking about a very sensitive topic that is related with the children, and that is the onset of puberty, or in plain language, the beginning of the teenage, or sometimes we say the period of adolescence. Now, in my case, I had to deal with two issues because we had shifted from Bombay. So Mumbai was called Bombay in the earlier times. We had shifted from Bombay to Delhi. So that was a transplantation shock. So it is really very difficult for any student, any child to adjust to a new environment. So there is new surroundings. As far as our house is concerned, so the friendship circle is different. The weather conditions are very, very different. The weather in Bombay, which we call as Mumbai now, is much different from that of Delhi. And that is perhaps the age, when the puberty sets in. So it has got a great effect on one's psychology. So a child actually is very sensitive, and all the more sensitive during that period. So the child getting depressed, or child finding difficult psychological emotional problems, child may find emotional problems. So that is quite normal. And now the thing is, who can help? The books that are given to us are of great help. So during those times, there was a book called Health, which was actually an extra book that was given to students. So it means kind of a physical education book. So it was written Health. So that book was written by very mature people. I like that book very much. Every word of it was helpful. So the book tells where to find support, how to find the truth. Now the thing is, if we compare the human body to the plants, like a child, if we compare a child to a plant, then florification is a normal thing, rather a very good news. When a plant florifies, then we feel happy. So it is a good news, but since our society is designed in such a way that certain things are really not considered fit for discussion, so the child is very, very confused. And in my case, that confusion was there, plus the transplantations. If we transplant a plant when it is florifying, then the damage is really too much, which is actually emotional damage. So that really affects the growth of a child, mental, emotional, and maybe sometimes also physical. So now what can a child do? What can the parents do? What can the teachers do? What can CBSE, our education board, do? Now the thing is that I do not find such a book with the students of present times. That book isn't there. I have not seen it now. That book called Health, which guided the students. Okay, parents can guide, but a child will always be very shy to talk to the parents. The peer group, the friendship circle is of much use because when a child is in the class, his classmates would also be experiencing similar changes. But many a times, some half truths, some false notions can be propagated, which may be really harmful. And a child would obviously be very shy to ask anything from the teacher. So now the whole responsibility lies on the education board. They have chapters on various things on physics, chemistry, biology. But the health factor, the emotional factor, how to tackle with the change, because that development during the age of puberty is very important. And the sexual energy is a very, very important and a positive part of any individual. So it is also a very powerful energy which needs to be channelized artistically, in an artistic way, in a beautiful way, so that later on a person is able to raise a family with this energy. So if stigma is attached to certain things and the child is made to suffer emotionally, so then that is not going to have a good effect on the child's growth, emotional growth, physical growth, mental growth, and also physical growth. So the responsibility lies with the education board. I feel that such a book that we used to have in our times should also be there again. And there should be some websites also, some YouTube educational channels, maybe on YouTube, maybe anywhere else. And also in the schools, children should be shown some documentaries which can make them aware of all the bodily changes, all the emotional changes that they face during the puberty. So in my case, the book was really helpful, and ultimately a person learns to cope up. But if there is some assistance of the peer group, and yes, in my case also, the friendship circle is also useful, because if the friends discuss the same thing, so that may be useful. But mostly the friends would start cutting jokes, on such things, and some wrong notions may come into the mind. But anyway, that fun method of discussion is also not bad. So this is how the puberty should be tackled. Documentaries need to be made. Some good books must be in the syllabus of a child, so that delicate phase and that crucial phase is tackled effectively. So it was all about puberty, which we also call as adolescence and teenage. So thank you for listening to my views, and bye bye.